Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back, Talk Law Radio. This is Todd Marquardt. We're on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, and on podcasts everywhere, also Facebook Live and YouTube. Let me know if you have ideas for new shows. I'd be happy to hear you out, or you can email me at host@talklawradio.com. I'm looking to help you with your legal issue blind spots by talking about the law on the radio. And today we're with Hector Saenz with Liberty Tax Service. Hector, why don't you tell everyone where your offices are?
Sure. Well, we have Liberty Tax offices all over San Antonio, right? My main location is over on the south part of town by South Park Mall. I have another one off of Babcock and Babcock and Huebner. And then the other one is not too far from the South Park location off of Zarzamora.
Okay.
Yep.
And can they just walk in, or do they need an appointment?
Yeah, no, we take walk-ins, we take drop-offs, we take appointments. As a matter of fact, we even do virtual tax returns too. So if you're looking to just stay home and have your taxes done by a professional, find us online, libertytax.com.
Okay, and so if they go to libertytax.com, that's the national headquarters website probably. How do they find you?
To find me, you can specifically, it's 15110 is my office number. So if you put libertytax.com/15110 finds my office specifically.
Okay, but you're not specific to, you have to find you.
Yeah, no, because, like I said, Liberty Tax, it's a franchise, right? And so we have offices all over town. All of our franchisees are tax professionals. Their staff are tax professionals. So, we train well, I think, and
Okay.
so, you'll be able to find someone who's going to be able to help out in every situation.
And you're part of that training, right?
I am, part of it. So, again, as a regional manager, they call us market managers, so we try to help develop some of the new franchisees and get them in the system and get their staff and all that ready to go. But of course, as a franchise owner, I do my part to train my teams as well, right? Making sure they know the tax law, know our software, how to navigate things like that. And so, they have to go through a certain level of training before they can actually sit with a client, right? So our corporate office requires them to get certified with tax knowledge. It's a tax test that we take before we actually touch a tax return.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I got a question for you. Why don't they teach tax accounting in the jungle?
I don't know.
There's too many cheetahs. Okay, that's my joke for the day. So you're pretty passionate about Liberty Tax Service. You help out other franchisee owners, and not just your offices. And so, how does Liberty Tax compare with other franchises that are out there?
I think what sets us apart is the fact that we're backed by a pretty strong corporate office, right? Not only that, but the franchisees themselves, right? So we have a lot of great franchisees, especially in the region that I manage. Here in San Antonio, the franchisee base is very knowledgeable. We kind of stick together, right? We're not in competition against each other, which I really love. So we'll, if I'm lacking knowledge in something, I know exactly who to go to on the franchisee team to get that client taken care of, right? And so that's something that makes us stronger, I think, as opposed to a lot of our competitors out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. I'm glad I asked that. We talked about the standard deduction, and we talked about IRAs, and we talked about health savings accounts. So since this is the fourth segment, and now's a good time to talk about legacy.
And now, it's time for the Talk Law Radio Legacy Spotlight. What's your legacy? Sponsored by Marquardt Law Firm.
So, one definition of legacy is by Mark Landers and Rob Rose, which I really liked because a lot of my kids, well, all of my kids were athletes at one time or another. They said good players leave behind memories, banners, and trophies. Great players leave behind a culture, values, and standards that create a sustainable advantage each year. You're an athlete. Tell me about how legacy would translate as an athlete.
Well, I think legacy is all about what you leave behind, obviously, right? And so, as an athlete, you always want to leave a team better than you found it, right? And so that's kind of a concept that I like to take pretty much in every aspect of my life, right? Whether it's my kids, my business, wherever I go to and I'm asked to lead, I want to make sure that I left it better than I found it. Right?
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. I love that. Use of the word legacy, something handed down from one generation to the next, comes from the Latin verb legere, to appoint by a last will or send as an ambassador. So that's a unique definition there. You mentioned your family. What values do you hope your children would learn from you?
Well, kind of like the same when I took away from my dad and my uncles. For my kids, I really want them to understand the value of hard work, right? I think that's not taught nowadays, right? So we're getting to a world where everything is becoming easier. We're trying to make everything very automated,
right?
Things like that. But at the end of the day, you still have to rely on your skill, and so the value of hard work, knowing, the fact that you have to work hard to be successful, right? You can't take the easy road out. So that's something that I kind of want to leave behind, showing them that, I include them in everything I do, right? My kids come to the office. I even built a business for my kids so we can work side by side, right? And so that's what I really want to leave them with, is just understanding that you have to kind of create your own, how should I say it?
Opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. You create your own opportunities, and that's really where you become successful, right? You can't just rely on just one, for example, one source of income, right? You have to create the different opportunities to be successful in it.
Yeah, I forget where I heard it, but somebody was saying that you should look to try and find 7 different streams of income.
Yeah, yeah. 7 different streams, I think, is what makes a millionaire, right? Obviously, you have to go further to become a billionaire.
Wow. So. Okay, yeah, my kids have all worked in my office. I worked for my dad, just like you did, and so I let them know that if they need money, they can come do some work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like that book. I don't know if you read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And so,
I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's a real good book, and so some of those values is what I kind of take away from of what I want to leave behind, right? So it was all about how the rich dad mentality, poor dad mentality, and the rich dad is always more teaching lessons rather than just giving things away, right? So
I'll have to read that.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about some of the things you do in the community.
Yeah, so in the community, all kinds of things, right? So, again, depends on what aspect, right? So in the business, we try to give back where we can, always helping out for the schools in our communities, right? So I'm real big, especially in the schools that my kids go to, getting involved, sitting on their, PTAs, their booster clubs, things like that. So I try to give back, again, where I can, because we're in a district where, the school that my kids go to, they can struggle on some of the things, especially for athletics, right? So I want to make sure that I do what I can, knowing, the resources that I have to kind of be able to give back to their athletics programs, things like that. So, just finding a need, not just to volunteer, and say I did it, but finding the need that they have and finding a way to fulfill it.
Great.
Right.
I love that philosophy. How would you say you want to be remembered?
Ooh, just as someone that was passionate about everything that I did, and for people to say that I did it the right way, instead of, there's a lot of people that can do things to be greedy, right? And so I never put anything that I do, I never put myself first, right? I always make sure that obviously God comes first, right?
Amen.
And then God, and then it's my family, so I never think about myself first when I'm doing something, and I really want that to be one of the ways I'm remembered, right?
Good. I hope they do. They'll have a YouTube video to remember it.
There you
by. How about any unique family heirlooms that you've received or that you want to pass on?
We never had, in my family, there's never really a unique heirloom. At least in my immediate family, right? My grandparents, my parents never passed anything down except for maybe my hairline or something like that. But no, but what I did get was actually from my mother-in-law. She gave me, it's like a pocket watch that her dad used to own. And I found that pretty special. You never expect a mother-in-law to give their son-in-law something that passes down. She's like, protect this. If you ever, divorce my daughter, I want it back. I was like, well, no, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll keep it. I'll keep it safe. But no, yeah, she trusted me with it. I still have it to this day. So hopefully I can pass that down to, I don't know if I'll do it to a son-in-law, but maybe my son.
Right. I like to tell my clients that I'm the son that my in-laws never had. They had 2 daughters, but if we ever got divorced, I'd be dead to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was remembering something that I received. My mom's dad, my grandfather, was in the Korean conflict, and he suffered injury and was awarded the Purple Heart. And my grandmother gave that to my mom, and my mom gave that to me.
Wow.
So that was something I'll cherish.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely. That's big. I like that.
So we've been talking about federal income taxes with Hector Saenz with Liberty Tax Services. Hector, you want to say anything about your offices again?
Sure. Yeah, Liberty Tax Service. So we're pretty much all over town. If you want to reach me directly, just on Facebook, I guess you can find me on Facebook, Hector Saenz, right? Liberty Tax South San Antonio is actually my office Facebook.
Okay.
Anytime they need help, just any Liberty really can help out.
And you're year-round?
Year-round, absolutely.
We are year-round office.
Bookkeepers, insurance agents, so we help small businesses, individuals, so pretty much anybody that needs to do taxes, we got them.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.